So, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It almost feels strange to say that after how long? 3 years? And yeah, it's been a minute since I was here last time. So, I thought I would just come here, have a kiki session, spill some tea, and catch up with you. So, last video that I made, I talked about moving in with Syed, and a lot has changed. I have been diagnosed with ADHD. We are not together anymore. Yeah, we went through a breakup. Like, all of this happened in such a short amount of time. And if you're following me on Instagram, you may have some idea. Not about the breakup, we never talked about it because we were just like processing it ourselves. And like it's not easy to talk about, especially until and unless you have processed it yourself. Otherwise, like, it would be very difficult for me to come here and like talk about it without breaking down in front of the camera, which I have never done that. And I honestly, like, I don't know how would it be. I think I would just start laughing, looking at my face, crying in the camera. So yeah, that won't be pretty. So we took our good amount of time before letting you know. And by the way, my father also passed away in the beginning of this year. And in this video, I just wanted to share with you how I hit rock bottom. And maybe next video, I will talk about what I learned from it. This year has been just the worst. Not just personally, like in general, with like everything going on in the world right now. So in the last video, I talked about moving in with Syed because we were working on this business together and both of us were staying at his parents' place, basically doing everything together. There was a certain kind of a friction we could see like emerging in the relationship, but we thought that it is, first of all, the fact that we were doing everything together. So from working on a business together to living together, then dating each other, basically practically just being in front of each other all the time, that sort of puts a lot of pressure on, any individual for that matter, who like is your everything, from business partner to life partner. First, we thought that it was because of that. And then, struggling to draw boundaries between professional and personal lives, because again, it's the same person you are doing everything with. So at first, we thought that was the reason, why we were struggling a little bit in the relationship. And on top of that, the lack of privacy, because we were staying with his parents. Like, we did not have our own privacy because he was also not out to his father. And it's like a shared space. So you have to have your guard up all the time. That, you can't be really intimate in that space. You can't really be just yourself in that space. You have to always constantly be thinking about like somebody coming in, somebody being around, somebody listening to your conversation, and like whatever. At the end of the day, it's a shared space. And if you're not out, if you're not comfortable, it's just, it can take a toll on your mental health and your relationship. We thought that it would be better for us if we move out and have like our own privacy, which we did eventually. Another thing we thought was causing this sort of friction was, as I said, working together as well as dating each other. So what we tried to do for that, we took a break from Cosmic Jalebi and just focused on our marketing business. And even in that, what we try to do is we try to put in systems in place. Because of those systems, what would happen is one person's sort of work was not dependent on other person doing something else. If it makes any sense, like it sort of made both of us more independent in our approach. Like in Cosmic Jalebi, we were entirely dependent on each other for everything, and we had to do everything together. In the marketing business, that allowed us to be able to have this separation. At the end of the day, I will be rewarded for my effort and he will be rewarded for his effort. And that did help. Moving out also did help in the beginning. But eventually we realized that these were not the entire sort of picture. This was definitely part of the picture, part of the bigger picture. But eventually we realized we were growing in different directions as people, as individuals. Our priorities, our values, perspective, we were basically just growing apart, which was scary because when you have known somebody for this long, you have been dating them for 5-6 years, but you have known them for like 8 years of your life, and you are so used to them being around. Just the thought of having to not be together was terrifying. And we tried our best. We tried everything that we knew was possible. But eventually it's just, it was time. Because it's also not one dimensional. Like it's so layered because while we were struggling in our relationship, there was also individual struggles that both of us were facing in our lives. Whether it's my relationship with my parents or his relationship with his parents. And life is very complicated. At the same time, I was also seeing a therapist because I was struggling with my mental health. And after nothing really worked and nothing really clicked with this therapist, and this I can talk about in like a dedicated separate video, but all in all, I stumbled upon ADHD on the internet, that there is this thing. And all of this was happening last year, by the way, towards the end of last year. I mentioned it in front of my therapist that, everything that you have been talking about and you've been like asking me to do and I'm also doing, but it is still not clicking and it is still not sort of working the way it should, and I don't see any progress, to be honest. So do you think there's a possibility that it could also be ADHD, like what I'm describing or what I'm going through? Basically, it could also be as a result of me having ADHD. She reluctantly just asked me to get an assessment if I thought I had ADHD, which I was like, girl, that's literally your job. Like, I've been telling you about myself. Anyways, moving on. So, I got an assessment and I had ADHD. And now listen to this. Oh God, this sounds so unreal. During the same time when I was getting my assessment, my father fell sick. So now I'm nervous because they take around a week after the assessment to give you the results. So I have shit ton of anxiety because deep down I did not want this assessment to say that I have ADHD, because again, it's scary. And it's something you don't know, something you don't understand, and it's something which is never talked about, which you have never seen anybody around you living with ADHD. Now I get the results and I have ADHD. And then I'm in this weird state of mind because throughout your life, you blame yourself for a lot of the things that have happened or not happened, or you did a certain way, or you did not do, or you forgot, or this and that. But then now you are suddenly told that it may not be your fault. The way you were feeling throughout your life, or the guilt you've been carrying throughout your life, you may not actually be that person. It could just be that your brain is wired differently, which is totally not in your hand. And it is, I wouldn't call it a relief, but it is certainly, it's this weird place where you find yourself, where you're still blaming yourself, but you're also sort of relieved that you have this answer. But at the same time, what the fuck are you gonna do with this answer? Like, so what? Like, even if you know that you have ADHD, because there is no rule book, there is no guide, there is like no fucking awareness on this. So yeah, I'm dealing with that. At the same time, I'm dealing with my father being sick and hospitalized by that time. At the same time, I'm dealing with the relationship stress and it not working out. And honestly, that was just the worst time in my life. My work is suffering because of that. It was already suffering, but now it's just getting worse. I'm on the verge of losing my part-time job because I'm just unable to perform. So I was doing freelance work and I had a part-time job as well. Now I finally start looking at solutions because, of course, I can't just sit and cry the entire time. That is not going to solve anything. That is not going to do anything for me. Now I just start looking for solutions. I'm like, okay, if I have ADHD, now what the fuck do I do? Do I need to take meds for that? Do I need to take therapy for that? Like ADHD specific therapy? Is that a thing? Like, what the fuck do I do? I'm trying to reach out to psychiatrists, whoever I knew. I'm trying to reach out to friends if they knew somebody who could help. Yeah, I come across this psychiatrist, and he prescribed me meds for ADHD, which honestly some people may fear. Like this friend was telling me that, people usually are afraid to take meds for these kind of things because it's just very new, and like, you don't have again awareness. But I just jumped on it. I was like, okay, if you think this is the right way and if you think I should be taking meds, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Took me 3 weeks or so, maybe, I'm not sure how much, to finally like locate the psychiatrist and finally get the medicines prescribed. The day I took my ADHD meds for the first time is the same freaking day I get to know that my father is in, or could be in, a critical sort of condition. Again, it's just unreal, because how can everything go sideways, and how can everything fucking go wrong, so wrong at the same time? Yeah, I just felt like crying, which I would have had I made this video earlier. Now you know why it took me a long time to finally make this video. At this point, it was also, I can imagine it was also very difficult to also be with me, because I was a mess. I was a big porta potty, hot mess. And that just put so much of strain on our relationship. I kept taking my meds and I kept working out. That was one of the few things which was, still constant in my life. I felt like everything I knew was a lie. Everyone I knew, including myself, everything and everyone just felt so distant and so out of reach. And I just did not want to talk to anyone, did not want to go anywhere, did not want to do anything. I just wanted to be in my bed, be left alone. It was the worst. Like we say, life could be worse, but this was the worst. Life couldn't be worse, couldn't get worse, until it did. My father passed away on 1st of January. And after that, again, I was not allowed to step out of the house, because for 13 days you can't step out of the house. There's this thing. And my workout also stopped because I could not step out of the house. So now finally the only thing which was this like last thread, this one constant thing which was there in my life, now that was also not there. It did give me some physical distance from my partner, which also helped me and him, I'm sure, think things from like a maybe different perspective. We just realized, and gradually, of course, like we realized and came to this realization that it was time. I needed to be here after my father passed away, and living with him, like the last few months that we were together, it was not good for my mental health. And on top of that, now I have been diagnosed with ADHD. So that also puts this unnecessary sort of burden on him. So we decided to take a break at first, because that is how it goes always. And I moved here with my mother. In that break only, when we got, more time apart from each other and like more time to ourselves to think about things, to really introspect, we realized that it was high time that we part ways. It is any day better than, trying to force something which is clearly not working out, trying to force yourself to be with the person who is growing in a completely different direction and has different values, has different approach towards life, then end up hurting each other in the process. So we did not want that. We did not want to hurt each other any more than we already had, unintentionally, of course, because we were such good friends before we started dating each other. And of course it was devastating, and of course I was falling apart and breaking down every day, multiple times a day. But it had to be done. It is like one of those things that was needed to be done. This is something I'm really proud. I'm really proud of both of us, or of how we handled it, because realizing when the time has come and when it is time to let go of something, it is so difficult. And just realizing that how it's not about what they did, which was wrong, and it's more about the kind of person they are becoming, or the kind of values and the kind of approach they have towards life is so different from yours that in the long run, it is going to cause nothing but conflicts. Having this level of maturity is so rare to find. Yeah, like one thing I don't think I will get is how people after their breakups can just turn 180 degrees and just start hating on each other. Like you literally loved that person until yesterday and now you hate them. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I'm really proud of how we dealt with it and how we did not blame each other. I mean, momentarily we did, but all in all, we, put it aside and we realized that it was just time to part ways and it was time to not be together as in dating and in a relationship with each other. Still, have a chance to preserve our friendship because we did not want to lose that. That was more important for both of us because we are such good friends. We were such good friends and we still wanted to keep being good friends. And of course, for the time being, we are not like talking as much as we used to because like that initial period, it is important to also like take a break from each other psychologically, from psychological standpoint, physical space, and like talking, not seeing each other as often, not talking to each other as often. But yeah, I think we will get to a point where we will be able to preserve our friendship. That's for sure. Like, I have no doubt in that. We finally, I think, broke up in, or when we like said this out loud, was I think in April. Is it April? April or March? I'm not sure. Oh God, I really miss having him in my videos because he would remember he would remember the exact dates. But yeah, anyways, yeah, now you know the tea. I really wanted this video to like feel like a kiki session, and that's why I did not want to make it on a chair. And I had to literally move my bed across the room in this area of like better lighting. Yes, now that I'm by myself, I will have more time to make more of these videos. Let me know in the comments. What do you want me to talk about in upcoming videos? And whatever your questions are, if you have any questions around ADHD, I would recommend I will be putting up this Ask Me Anything in my Instagram story. So if you follow me on Instagram, that is great. If you don't, you better. You can basically drop in your questions regarding ADHD, regarding being queer, regarding relationships. I think I have like enough of experience of being in a relationship and a breakup now. So I think I'm qualified to also give advice on relationships. And yeah, apart from that, any questions or anything you have, you can let me know either here in the comments or on Instagram. And I was thinking I'll most likely the video that I'll make next will be about what I learned from hitting this rock bottom, and because it was not all bad. I mean, it was absolutely terrible, and I do not wish this upon anyone. But once you come out of something like this, you gain so much of perspective in general, and that is something I thought I'll share in the next video. And until then, peace. Okay, I'm setting a stopwatch as well so that I know how long I have been yapping, because otherwise I can just go on forever and not realizing that I have run out of fucking storage, battery, whatever, time.